question we get asked every day is what makes a good online customizer? Well, here are 10 top tips on what makes it work. Number 1 is layout. Basically, follow the established rules. Keep controls grouped together and make the product the highlight. So this is not saying that all customizers should look the same, but what it is saying is there are certain things people expect and have come used to. So, for example, on this layout, which we call Garment 2, it's pretty clear you go to the left-hand side to change the color. And it's pretty clear you click here on the right-hand side to add the text, and there are all the controls you might need for the text, and you click there to add images. That doesn't mean the layout has to be the same. If we went and looked at, a different style layout, for instance, this bespoke one, it starts in a different way, but everything is in logical groups. So keep the standard layouts and have a look at Product Personalization app if you want to see 12 standard options. So your next choice is keep it simple. Not too many tools, only the features people want to use. Less is more. We've actually done a lot of customization work for people where we've removed tools that people don't want. So here's an example of one here. And if you look, the simplicity of this one, add text, add images, change effects, add to cart. And you could potentially even get rid of effects there. So that makes it very easy and logical for people to customize the product. Third tip, product images. Ultimately, people never really buy something they haven't seen. So the better you make the product look, the more it will sell. Lifestyle images often work. So, the picture of somebody in the product. Contextual backgrounds, like in this example here, where you've got a sign on a wall, often work. And 3D models, as we saw with, I think, the example of the bag earlier. This bag I can explore completely, go around. I can even use my mouse to zoom in and zoom out. So put some effort into the product. Too many customizers we've seen are just line drawings of something, and that doesn't sell the product as well. Signpost with color. Sounds obvious, but when you look at a screen, your eye is automatically drawn to certain things. So if you've got quite a plain customizer, which is always our recommendations, then you can signpost the path you want people to take with color. So a good example here really is on this canvas one. People upload easily from the keep it simple principle, and then we're drawing them to this button. The obvious things are things like make that call to action button the same as it is on other areas on your site. And these can all be modified with CSS. So colors to signpost. And if I'm going too fast in terms of all of these, we will have a link on our blog. So if you go to gateway3d.com and you search for what makes a good customizer, you will find a recording of this webinar and also more details on each of the points that I've raised for you. So number 5 is loading. People actually do expect that in the customization process, a customizer might take longer to load on a page. So make the loading process fun. Obviously, we have standard loading bars on our apps, but in principle, there are hundreds of sites where you can go and get customized loading bars. So make it part of the experience, creating your product now, bringing your product to life with a picture of a beating heart. There's lots of different things you can do. And always make it clear to the customer what's happening. They don't mind waiting a few seconds more if you explain what's happening. Next thing is preview. Live preview is king. Lots of personalization sites that use text just allow you to type something. But as we've discussed before, you very rarely buy what you can't see. And here's a good example of a simple engraved product, which again has a nice lifestyle image. But, as I type, my text appears on the product. And in this case, in a nice engraved effect. And it makes it clear what someone's buying, where the text is positioned, how big it's going to be. Statistics say between 20 and 60% more conversions will happen if you've got a preview. So point number 7, save and share. Now, using my color signposting, I guess here I'm drawn to 2 buttons, a green to go and a red to save. So on all of our Gateway 3D apps, we are giving people the option to save, because sometimes people want a second opinion, so they want to save it and send it to someone else. Sometimes you might be customizing something and run out of time and don't want to rush your order. Sometimes you might just want to share your creation after you've made it with friends. The obvious way to increase conversions is to have save and share functionality. The only one thing we've always picked up from user experience, which possibly on the example on the screen now I might change, is if the save button has as much prominence as the add to cart button, people might save instead of adding to cart. So we would always make the save a secondary feature rather than the main feature. Image options is a good one. So if we use this example, in today's world, everybody's got thousands of images. Almost everybody stores them in multiple locations, so you have to make it easy. And adding clip art and external galleries helps. So if I just use this example here, when I hit add image, it lets me pull my images from all of these different sources. It will undoubtedly help increase your conversions if you give people more options here. So the next point on the list, number 9, although one point we've said earlier is keep it simple, signpost it, and I almost have this theory, if you need help text to use an app, then it's too complicated. That said, some people do read help text, and if you've got a more complex product, you may need to put help text on. One of our top tips is use videos, because people will watch a video more than read a lot of help text. So perhaps go into your customizer and video the process. So we're now getting to number 10 in the list, and this is one of my favorites now. Live chat's heavily used on websites, but putting live chat within a customization tool is a great way to boost conversion. So again, now on the Gateway apps, we've got the ability to add live chat within the app. So if people get stuck during the process, they can simply just ask you a question and even potentially share their screen. So that is the quick guide into how to, well, what makes a good customizer. Hopefully you found that of interest, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the future.